So Dan, you've flown 6,000 miles to be here.
Yeah.
I live in London. Was it worth it?
Oh, absolutely. The first 1,300 miles we're here, driving here from the UK in McLarens.
Okay. Don't rub it in, I was on the red eye.
Yeah.
But leaving the supercars aside, and I know there's a new McLaren here,
Yeah.
what were your highlights?
Well, I really like the Porsche Panamera Sport Turismo, but also the GT3 that was sitting right next to it.
With a stick shift now.
Yeah, you can get it that way, and I know the PDK's faster, and Mark Webber's right. He's a Formula One driver, so he should know, but I still want to shift manually.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, half a second on a lap time, it's about having fun, right? If you buy one of
Absolutely,
those.
the involvement's just there, and pushing a button's not the same.
And I really like the Sport Turismo. I mean, interesting concept, bringing a Porsche wagon to the US.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a Panamera, which is a great car, as we know, with a bit of extra practicality, a bit of extra novelty.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
It's
it
a great
looks
thing.
better because Panamera shape never quite sat well with me, and it just never looked quite graceful. This one looks tough, and it looks muscular. It looks purposeful. This is what a Panamera should have always looked like, I think.
Another car which is going to appeal to the slightly better well-off is the Range Rover Velar, which is down here behind us. I went to launch of it in London last week, and it's interesting to see it on the show floor, but I think that's a beautifully executed vehicle.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of people here crawling in and out of it all day. It really looks like it's making waves here, and I think it's going to do well in Southern California and the rest of the United States.
The interior is terrific. The only problem I have with it, and I have big OCD problems, is on all that touchscreen stuff, your little fingerprints, especially when you get little sweaty fingers, all over the dashboard.
Piano black looks great when it's clean,
Yeah.
but then it just turns into a fingerprint magnet. So,
But getting a bit more real world, what's got your eye that's perhaps, as we say in Europe, more affordable?
more affordable. Well, you know, I've always been a sucker for the Subaru Crosstrek, which you would know as the XV.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because I do a little bit of off-roading, and there's a Subaru that has a little bit extra ground clearance, a little bit extra toughness, and still is a great daily driver. It always seemed a little bit gutless and a little plasticky inside. They've made it just a little bit bigger and a little bit more powerful. I haven't driven it. I can't tell if that's going to be enough, but it's certainly the right direction, and I like the car to begin with.
And that's the chassis will spawn the next generation of the Outback and everything else. So it bodes well. Another car that I like, we can actually probably see behind us over there, is the Volvo XC60. Volvo's on a big roll right now.
Yeah.
XC90 is a great car. That's more of a crossover, a bit less SUV-like.
Yep.
But it's a pretty thing.
It is, and they gave it the longer, lower, wider treatment this year. And that's just what it needed, because it was a little bit small inside, a little bit small in the back seat, up on tiptoes. Now it's a lot more graceful, and I think it's going to be better for the mainstream audience, and it's just the right size.
And it was time, because the old one was extremely
9 years old or something like that.
Based on the old Ford Focus. I mean,
So this looks like a good hitting of the reset button.
The other thing is there's going to be a plug-in hybrid T8,
Yep.
which is just going to be a monster.
Yeah, we don't know how many miles of range it's going to have yet, but
Not
I
many.
know that the battery is between the seats in the tunnel, so it's not going to affect cargo capacity at all. So at least it's got that going for it.
Civic Type R.
Oh,
First time it's coming to the US.
I know.
It's been here in Europe for many years.
We've been waiting for that forever. I mean, all I've seen is people buying the red badges and sticking them on whatever Civic they had, and it's so poser. But here we got one with 306 horsepower, which, considering the standard Civic is like 180, I mean, it's more than 100 horsepower, more than the car it's based on.
But you know what the problem I have with it? Still front-wheel drive.
I know.
You've got a Focus RS just over there. I can see it from here. All-wheel drive, amazing all-wheel drive system. It's going to be similar money to the Civic. You know, you can't beat physics.
No, we'll have to see. I mean, they've got a Revo knuckle type front suspension and a helical limited slip differential.
You're getting very geeky on me now, Dan.
Sorry. It's got cool stuff
Yeah.
in the front that might help put the power down without all this torque steer.
The old one was almost undrivable in the wet.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
it really wasn't a great car in the wet.
So we'll see. I mean, I haven't driven it yet, but I'm slobbering over it right now.
So tell us about, I know you want to come back to the McLaren 720S, which is hiding over there. That's it's a challenging car to look. I mean, it's dramatic, but it's all about aero, isn't it?
It is all about aero, and I really like the sides and the back, and I get to the front and I look at the headlights, and you know, McLaren's got this signature boomerang shape headlight that always looked great, and now they've kind of opened it up with it looks a little bit too bug-eyed for me, but it is functional. And you know, whenever I see a new design for the first time, I always kind of go, ugh, and then a year later I like it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it some time to percolate and see. But certainly, the ingredients are there for a great driving car, and I can't see the headlights from the driver's seat anyway.
So Dan, we talked about all the highlights. Anything that you thought, not so sure?
Well, yeah, I think the thing that comes to mind is the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. I mean, I like what they've done with the styling. It's a more cohesive look than they've had before, and it's the right size to compete in that segment. They certainly needed to have it 5 years ago, but certainly it looks better, and it has the right sort of engine and transmission combination that works well for the Honda CR-V, but I'm just not sure of some of the features and design elements. There's the thing you can see in the rearview mirror that divides the hatch into two pieces, and then there's the touchpad that controls the Navi system. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's almost trying too hard.
Yeah, maybe.
The other one, my opinion, you might shriek in horror at this, Honda Civic Type R. I mean, I love the fact that Honda's building cars like this again before, but 300 horsepower through the front wheels. I drove the old one, which wasn't available in the US, and in the wet, it was. All the technology is about getting around a physical problem of trying to steer and put that much horsepower through the wheels.
Well, we'll have to see. I know we've never had it, so it's one of these things where we just want to have it.
Yeah, the fanboys are going to love it.
And it doesn't rain in Southern California much, right? So maybe we don't care.
Yeah, it's not a car for Detroit. So beyond that, as we sort of wrap up for the day and everybody packs up around us, if you were driving one car back tonight that you've seen here at the show, what would it be? What's your highlight?
I go back to the Porsche stand this morning and the GT3. I love that car. I've driven the last generation one. It made a real big impression on me, and the Autobahn's not too far away. I'd love to go blast that thing around in Germany one last time on the way back to the UK where I started.
I'm with you, Dan. I love the GT3. I drove a GT3 RS recently and absolutely loved it. Fabulous car. But for me tonight, when we're all a bit kind of tired and sweaty, Panamera Sport Turismo. It's going to drive like the standard Panamera, but I love the style, I love the practicality, and for a car to just point down the auto route and head back to the UK, fabulous.
Can't argue with that.
So that's our highlights and maybe a few lowlights of the 2017 Geneva Auto Show. But tell us, if you were driving from Geneva to London tonight, what would you take? Come on, engage with us.